Hi everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I am a Stampin Up independent demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me, I'll make sure my volume's working. Oh, it sure is, oh goodness. Okay, so as I say, thanks for joining me. For those of you who have been watching the last 11 days, I've been doing a 12 days of Christmas challenge. And today, yay, is the last day of that challenge. I must say, after this morning, I think I'm going to probably close up the craft room for a couple of days and not come in here. It's been pretty full on. The challenge is definitely the word I'd call it. And the room, oh my goodness, you should see past this little bit of clear space here. It looks like I've had some sort of craft party happening with a group of blind crafters or something. It's just atrocious. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Oh wow, I can see everybody is jumping on already. That's so great. Hannah and Tonya and Susan. Good morning, Susan. Thank you. I think Susan's watched just about every video of mine for these 12 days. I really appreciate it. And Shirley from Texas and Deborah. Hi. Thanks guys for joining. I really, as I say, really appreciate it. Okay, so today is the final day, and I said at the end of yesterday's video that I wanted to do something a bit special, and to be honest, I could only come to, and you're going to moan, some of you will probably moan, I've come back to the Poinsettia Petals dies and Poinsettia Petals stamp set, basically because I just absolutely love this to death, and hey, it's my video, so I can do poinsettias if I want to, she says, quoting a song. But yeah, so I love this one. I'm doing it in slightly, at least a fun fold, so you guys can get some sort of difference there. It's a fun fold card. But yeah, I am back to the Poinsettia Petals. You know, probably turn away now. Just before I start, I'm going to do some gratuitous self-promotion. I'm going to just show you the cards that I will be featuring for my November class by mail. So if you're in Australia and you would like to do one of my classes, please, this is the November class that I'm showing you now. So we've got a glorious sort of balmy blue card here with the wreath. So it's a Ranger wreath is the featured bundle. Sort of balmy blue, not balmy blue, seaside foam card here with some silver and the beautiful ribbon. Plus I've tried to do something a little bit different here with this one. This is actually just doesn't include a wreath at all, but just includes the really cute partridge and these pears in something a little bit different there with some gold. And I'm going to also provide this one. You can either do it as a fridge magnet, a gift card, or a tree ornament. So I'll give you everything you need to do either way, so you can make it one of those three ways with instructions, of course. And so if you enroll for my class, you actually get enough of everything: cardstock, embellishments, ribbon, the whole bit, all cut and scored and embossed, to make 2 each of these. So 6 projects all up, you get 2 each of these, plus written instructions. So if you're interested in that, please have a look at the posts on my Facebook page where I give you the details. Unfortunately this time it's so fiddly and intricate to prepare these stamps, these card kits. I'm not offering the card kit only option. I will be requiring, if you want to do the class, to either buy the stamp set, the bundle, or the what I call the goodie bag, which includes a lot of the sort of consumables in this to the value of the stamp set. So it's as I say, it's so fiddly and so intricate. It's beautiful, but it's just not viable for me to do the stamp set only. Anyway, so putting that aside, that's my bit of gratuitous self-advertising happening, and let's get stamping, or let's get card making anyway. So here is, I've cut everything I need for this one. It's a double Z fold card we're creating today. You can probably see it coming together there in front of you. It's a double Z, so it actually folds. So it's sort of like a gate Z, isn't it, in a way, because it comes to the front there. That's okay, Sally. Sally says she's going out. That's fine. You can watch the replay. That's no worries at all. So it's a double Z fold card, and I will give you the dimensions of the paper because I had taken them. So if you use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, you can go the full length, the full 12 inches, and 5.5 inches high, and then just score at 2, 4, 8 and 10. That's easy enough. But because we've got A4 cardstock, which is slightly less than 12 inches or 30 centimetres, you just basically have to scale everything back a wee bit. So I've cut this one to 11 5/8 long and 5.5 high, just to scale back the height a little bit. And I've scored it at 1 15/16. So a smidgen short of 2 inches. So a 1/16 of an inch short of 2. And then at 3 7/8. And then basically flip it and do the same. So it's 1 15/16 and 3 7/8. So in centimetres, that's 29.5 centimetres long, 14 centimetres high, and I've scored at 4.9 and 9.8 from both ends. So, and that makes them meet sort of perfectly in the middle there. Either if you go any other measurements, you're going to be too far apart or overlap in the front, which isn't a good look for this card. So I will put those measurements in the comments. So, but yeah, as I say, you just need a little bit of fiddling if you're using an A4 cardstock. Okay, so I've got that there. So this is Cherry Cobbler, the colour. So I'm teaming that with some black and some Very Vanilla. So I'm going to put some Very Vanilla inside. So I have 2 pieces of basic black cardstock, and that is, they are 1/4 of an inch smaller than the front there. So measure that up and then take 1/4 of an inch off all round, and I'll pop these measurements for these in the comments as well. So just because I wanted a slightly larger than normal border of my Cherry Cobbler. Then I've got 2 panels of the beautiful sort of berry designer series paper from the Poinsettia designer series paper. So that's really nice. That brings out that red really nice, and it's got the Very Vanilla in the background. Then I've got other bits and bobs which I'll bring in later, and I've got these panels cut for the inside as well, so I'll put the measurements for those. But I think I'll probably start by layering that up and making it and get it out of the way. So just bring in some glue. So it's just going to be on the front panels there. You could decorate these inner panels if you want, but to be honest, I'm using that designer series paper in a class and I've run out, so I didn't have any extra left. That was all I've got. I'm going to have to buy some more, but so just the black in first, and then the designer series paper on top. It's really nice on the back too, this one, just sort of the wood grain. It's really, really sweet. I'm ignoring all my comments. I'm terribly sorry. Just hello for everyone else who's joined. Kathy, I can see you on there, and Shirley and Kay. Good morning. Thanks for joining me, guys. And Sylvia. Thank you, Sylvia. Sylvia says she's enjoyed the series, and I hope you all have. It's definitely a challenge. Even if you don't do videos, try it yourself at home. Try and come up with something relatively original. I can't say that everything I do is original because that would be a lie. Pinterest is my best friend, but I always put a bit of a spin on things and give credit, which I think is the important thing. So yeah, it's been a real challenge, and some days you just don't feel like it. Some days you've got other things on. Yeah, it's been good. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these middle parts in. I'm actually just going to pop the black in, and I'll leave the Very Vanilla out because I'm going to stamp that with a sentiment and a bit of a flower later on. Okay, so that's all of those, so those pieces don't go astray. So you can see already how that's coming together, and it's going to sit up on your dressing table like that. That's really sweet. I've got some birds in my front yard who are just having some sort of battle, I think. It's been a bit like that lately. The birds, it's different sorts of birds mobbing the other sorts of birds and taking a terrible, terrible noise. It's quite fun. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun for them, but it's fun to watch. Okay, so here I have also Cherry Cobbler and Very Vanilla. And these are two sentiment boxes that I have cut. And it's the weirdest set that you could think. It's actually from the Hippo and Friends dies. Now, I haven't used the Hippo and Friends dies very much. They are a two-part stamping, and I just find that I'm not particularly good at it. I need to practice, but it has some really interesting shaped sentiment boxes. So if you were after the sentiment boxes, it might even be worth just buying them and not worrying too much about the little hippos and lambs and things, although they're cute. Yeah, so it's got these really nice sort of elegant sort of sentiment boxes here. It's got these really nice one here and this really nice stitched, what's that, pentagon or hexagon or something. Yeah, so it's really nice. So these are really nice sentiment boxes. So as I say, if you like the look of those, you could probably just pick that up and forget the fact that, you know, if you're not into the little cute animal sort of thing. So anyway, I've cut two of the sentiment boxes with the Hippo and Friends dies, strangely as it sounds. Okay, it's bird mating. Well, that could be what they're doing, Margie. They could be mating, or at least they're fighting about it. Definitely. Well, it didn't seem to be different species having a go. Anyway, we'll see. Weird things happening outside my window in Bellreeve. Okay, so I'm going to pop the Very Vanilla one just on top of the Cherry Cobbler one. Now you could use any sentiment boxes that fit nicely together like this. You could use, I did contemplate using the nested labels, the sort of triangular diamond shaped ones, with a larger one and a smaller one. But I quite like the fancy edges of this one, so that's what I've gone for. You could even just go for big and small circles or squares or something like that. So that's going to sit there like that. Then what I'm going to do is bring that in and pop it on the front of the card, so it's only attached to half the side. So it's only attached on this left hand side, so I'm going to put glue just on that left hand third, just up to about there. Then centre it up, top and bottom and sides, try and make it straight, and that will be there. Okay, so it opens like that. Isn't that good? I like that. I haven't got any ribbon. I thought I could put some ribbon around the edge, but that seemed like a lot of ribbon. And a lot of people will make a belly band with this card, but I'm thinking that I think I've got enough happening, so I probably don't need a belly band on this one, but you could do it. Okay, so now let's bring in our decorations. We'll pop that to the side. Okay, so we're very familiar with these up till now. I have in Cherry Cobbler, I'm going to make two of our poinsettias, one large one that uses all 4 segments and a smaller one that just uses the smaller 3. Then I've got the leaves. I've got 2 large and 2 small leaves, and they are in Mossy Meadow. And I've got some gold. Need some of the bling. I've got some of the gold sprays there, just in gold foil. So I'll make up these flowers. And I haven't actually made this card up yet. I know sort of what I want it to look like, but I haven't actually made it. I haven't got a prototype. So as we've been doing with our beautiful poinsettias, because they've got that beautiful vein through the middle, I'm just giving them a bit of a curl with my finger and thumb, or between my finger and thumb, just to give them a bit of a bit more natural movement. There we are, and the last one just with my fingernail because he's so tiny. You hear them? You hear those birds? They're going mad. Crazy. It is a nice time of year down here in Tassie. I don't know if anyone sort of knows where Tassie is. I know most of my Australian customers would, my watchers, but yeah, we're way down the bottom of Australia. And it's just starting to come spring, which is a lovely time of year wherever you are. And just a little bit more with my fingernail. It's also a very variable time of year. I mean, yesterday I made my bed and changed my sheets, and I decided to take my winter doona off and put my summer doona on, and then, well, summer-ish, whatever we call summer, and then it turned cold. I was absolutely freezing, so I don't know whether I'm going to persist with it or put the winter doona back on again. We'll have to see what the weather does to me. Okay, so there. So I'm just making up these two flowers, these two poinsettias. And I have to admit, I didn't actually buy this set with my first order. I actually didn't buy it until I saw all the lovely stuff that other people were doing with it. So I can't say that I liked it to start with, but I really do now. As you can tell, I've done three cards. 3 of my 12 cards have used this particular die set. Stamp bundle. Oop, go on there, you. Tiny bit of glue in the middle, and then our last one. There we are. So I've got a larger flower and a slightly smaller one, just because I've used one less layer. I'm going to sort of then just give the leaves a slight bend as well, the same as we did with the petals. And that's it. So we're ready to put these on. Okay, so as I say, haven't looked at this before, but I know roughly what I want to do. So I'm going to bring both of the flowers in and sort of interlace them across the front of the card like this, and cut and sort of glue them down, and then I'm going to bring the other parts in. I don't think I need dimensionals on these because I think they have enough dimension already. Okay, so that's our first one there. Now this is slightly more narrow as my normal cards. I think it's just under 4 inches, 4 inches wide when it's down, so I can actually overlap a little bit and still get into a standard envelope. So that's sort of nice. Yes, the cherry cobbler is a lovely colour for the poinsettias, Sue. I agree. And I've seen some lovely white ones as well, and some with a sort of little blush of pink, which is nice. So, and then if we're going to be using it all year round, which I'm hoping I will, I'll have to think of some other ways of doing it. Okay, so we've got our 2 flowers on there. Just going to then bring in our leaves, just with a tiny bit of glue on the back. And now we're really in uncharted territory because I have no idea where I'm going to put them. So up there. There maybe, yep. Now I don't want to cover over my my little labels there, my little layers too much, so I'm going to try and stick to bits that are already covered, so to speak. If I can, this one will have to go in there. There we are, that's sort of sweet. And now our silver, our gold I mean, so I'm just going to bring that in as well. Thank you, Shirley. I think my voice deserves a break if nothing else. I've just noticed how croaky I've become. I'm back to my I obviously have a day job like most people. I'm back. I've been on holidays for the last 2 weeks, so I'm actually back to work on Wednesday. so which has been good timing for this challenge. Been able to have the days home and do it. I'll just pop some glue on the back of that. And as I say, thank you very much for everyone who has watched my videos, either live or in replay. Really means a lot. Okay, so another one up in here, I think. Bit too much glue on that. And one more, let's think, down here. I think it's lending itself. I'll have to trim him off a little bit. There we go, yep, that's him. There you go, there we go. Okay, apologies, I've stopped talking there. I was trying to concentrate to see what Susan said here. Your mum has growing outside for the summer, has done well. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's poinsettia you're talking about, Susan. Yeah, I don't know. They tend to be I don't know. I think they tend to be a gift plant here. I'm just going to use, don't want to waste it. I'm just going to use that little bit up there, just because I've cut it. Ooh, got a bit of glue on there. I was afraid I was going to do that. Okay, so we've got those. That's look really, so that's sort of quite a highlight when it sits open like that. It's going to be quite nice, I should think. Just going to bling it up a bit more, and like it needed any more bling. I'm going to use the, these are just made for them, the beaded pearls. I'm going to pop a beaded pearl on the inside of each of those, just to go that little step further. One in there. And one more. So they really lift it, don't you think? They really lift the cherry cobbler to that extra level. And one in there. There we are. I'll have to buy some more of those after this fortnight. Okay, so I haven't got a sentiment in there. I just probably haven't even thought of a sentiment. Okay, what are we going to do for a sentiment? I don't want to ruin it, that's the thing. What have we got? The Merry Christmas is quite large. I don't want a large sentiment. See, the Merry Christmas would go all over it. What are we going to do? Happy Holidays is a lot smaller. But where could we put it? That's the question. Any thoughts, guys? I know what I want to do, which is very similar to what I did with the others, and it was actually use the sentiment out of the Gleaming Christmas and do it in red. But I've done that before. That's pretty, yeah, can't, just on the inside. Yeah, you could be right there, Kathy, just on the inside. Yeah, Margie, you're right too. Maybe not a front. I mean, it's not going to be anything but a Christmas card, is it? It's not going to be, you know, it's not get well soon or anything. Let's leave that, and I will go with the with my wise friends and just put something on the inside. So I've got our little very vanilla box here that I'm going to do the inside. And what I thought I'd do, very similar to before, just bring in this. I am losing my voice. I might need to gargle. Just bring in this little flower here, which is just a complete poinsettia. Just going to be careful with getting my blocks. Oh, I'm going to crash everywhere. Here we go. Just pop that on. Find my cherry cobbler, which isn't too far from the top of my pile of ink. because I've used it quite a bit the last few weeks. And I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp off once. I've got a piece of scrap here somewhere. And then pop it down here in the corner. Haven't got my grid paper up, so I'm just going to bring in this scrap so I don't make a horrible mess. There we are. That probably could have been stamped off one extra time. I think that's quite still quite oh, there go my glasses. That's still quite deep in colour. Then I will use an inside. Which one? I might use. I love this May Magic and Wonder Bloom this holiday. I quite like that one. It's really nice. I'll block that up. There's lots of lovely little sentiments in this stamp set. Sometimes beautiful images means that they skimp a bit on the sentiments, but not in this case. They're all very lovely. Okay, you might get a place of honour. I will definitely be photographed a fair bit. Probably give it to my mum, I reckon. She really appreciates my cards. There's lots of people do, but Mum's kept every card that I've ever made for her. She often laughs that when we do eventually clean out her house, there's just going to be a big room of cards. She may well be right. It's quite funny looking at them, the older ones that I've done, how much my style has changed. With most creative stuff, your style changes, and it's definitely changed over the last year or so. Okay, so there we are. That's our inside. Okay, I've got a little bit of a smudge there. I'm going to bring my rubber in, my eraser in, and unsmudge that if I can find it. Oh, smudge up there too. Might not be able to get that one. Oh, there's a stubborn one. Excuse the wobbles, guys. I just didn't want... Oh, I've got smudges on my fingers, that's why. I might have to redo that front one, just go straight over it with another panel just to get rid of those smudges because they're going to annoy me. But anyway, we'll close her up because that's where the star of the show is. So there we are. That's my final project. Got rubbing bits all over the place. My final project in my 12 days of Christmas. Yeah, I think it's pretty special. It's bringing together all the elements, the paper, the stamp sets, the dies, the whole bit, and the beautiful embellishments. So thank you so much for watching this last 12 days. As I say, I think now I'm going to leave the craft room and not come back for a couple of days, but usually I say that and it drags me back in. It's a bit like the mafia. You think you're away. But anyway, so thank you so much. As I say, if you have any questions about Stampin' Up or any of the products you've seen in the last 12 days, please feel free to let me know, to contact me. I don't mind where you're from. I'm happy to answer questions for anyone in Australia and overseas. So please reach out and ask your questions. Thank you. Keep in mind my class by mail for next month is the Arrange a Wreath. And there's posts on my Facebook if you're interested in that as well. So thank you again. I will see you all again next weekend when we go back to normal videos. Yeah, I really appreciate all your support and all your wonderful words. Okay, so thanks guys, and I'll pop in and and look at the comments properly afterwards. Anyway, take care, have a great week, and I will talk to you all later.